So today we're going to talk about measures of dispersion or standard deviation. This video link right here does a really good job of explaining what that means. So the first thing that we're going to know is that we're going to be given a range of data. And so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to find the range. What is how far away is it from the highest value to the lowest value of this data set? So when I look here, 9 is the smallest value and 75 is the highest value. That should be a subtraction sign. They're certainly not equal. So I'm going to take 75 minus 9 equals 66. So this data is pretty spread out. There's a pretty big gap between all of it. So if I'm going to find the mean of it, I'm going to get a number, and then the standard deviation tells me how far the data is from the mean. And so you could do this by setting up a spreadsheet. We're going to do it manually today. So the larger the variability, which this one, the more that the numbers are spread out, the larger the standard deviation is going to be. So we're going to use a couple different symbols. S is what we're going to use to signify standard deviation in this course. You might see it using this sigma sign. So let's say that we have this data. We have these numbers here, and we have these numbers. And I calculated the mean, and they both have 9.5. What about the variability? How spread out are these numbers? And so this one goes from 5 to 13 versus this one is 8, 9, 10, and 11. So there's no gaps here, but there's gaps, and this one is more spread out. So this one is more spread out, and all these numbers are pretty close together. So to determine the mean, the standard deviation rather, of a data set, first thing we're going to do is we're going to find the mean. And then we're going to make 3 columns. We're going to put our data in the first column. And then the second one says we're going to take the data minus the mean. And so X bar here is the mean. X bar is the mean. And then in the third column, we're going to take that answer and we're going to square it. And then finally, we're going to take the square root of that number. All right, let's give it a go. Determine the range and the standard deviation. All right, so I saw that the smallest number is 4 and the largest number is 15. And so when I calculated the range, I went 15 minus 4 equals 11. X bar, that means find the mean. So I took 9 plus 7 plus 4 plus 10 plus 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 items here. And when I put that in my calculator, I got 9. So in the first column, I listed all of my data points here, 9, 7, 4, 10, 15. In the second column, I'm going to put the mean. So I just calculated that. In the third column, you're going to take the number minus the mean. So 9 minus 9 is 0. 7 minus 9 is negative 2. 4 minus 9 is negative 5. 10 minus 9 is 1. And 15 minus 9 equals 6. In this column, I'm going to take this answer and I'm going to square it. So 0 squared is 0. Negative 2 squared is 4. Negative 5 squared is 25. 1 squared is 1. 6 squared is 36. This sigma sign right there, that means add up all the values. So I'm adding 0 plus 4 plus 25 plus 1 plus 36. All those add up to 66. So you can see down here, the standard deviation, S, is this formula right here. So I'm eventually going to take the square root. So what I just finally figured was the numerator of this fraction. So adding up all of those, I got 66. And then I'm going to divide it by n minus 1. So that's what these steps are walking you through. It says take the last value in the table and divide it by n minus 1. So I'm going to take 66. N is the number of things that we added up. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 things that I added up. So 5 minus 1 is 4. So I'm taking 66 divided by 4 is 16.5. So now I've done all the math under the radical. It says now take the square root of it. So I'm taking the square root of 16.5. And I get 4.06. When I'm looking at the instructions on the homework, the standard deviation, it keeps saying, have this answer be 1 decimal point more than the data points that you're given. So all of these are whole numbers. And so that basically means that I need to round this to the nearest tenth. And so I'm going to go with 4.1 for my good final answer on that one. The next one is the same thing, but we just have more numbers. You can check your notes against mine and see if you got it right.